Chen Xi traveled through the fantasy world and encountered a classic plot at the beginning. He was still digging the bones of his own mother, uncle, and brother, which made him very confused after crossing over. At this moment, the selection system suddenly opened, giving him the following choices. Option 1. Agree to excavate the supreme bone, break with the Shi family, and obtain the innate Dao body. Option 2. Refuse to excavate the supreme bone, restore the light system of Shi Hao to its original state, and obtain the ancient holy body. Looking at Shi Hao in front of him, Shi Yi ultimately chose choseFeilu novel network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. The Holy Communion of the Past. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Zhantian Dao Domain, Abandoned Ancient Realm, Abandoned Domain, Ancient Country. Brother, what is this place? What are these glowing things around here? It looks like a magic formation. In ancient China, 2-year-old Shi Hao looked at his brother Shi Yi in a bamboo forest surrounded by spiritual energy and said happily. On that round little face, there is a childlike innocence. The older brother standing next to him, although his face did not change much, his heart was filled with shock, and he frowned as he looked at Shi Yi. Chen Xi. Have I traveled? Just a few minutes ago, Chen Xi was still chatting and interacting with his sisters in the live broadcast room. At this moment, there was a sudden power outage. Just as I was feeling confused in the morning, my eyes suddenly lit up and I came into this body. And he completely remembers all the memories inside this body. He didn't expect that he had truly traveled. And it's also a classic, digging for the supreme bone, scene in the anime. And he also dug up his own cousin's supreme bone. The protagonist, at such a young age, how could he be so ruthless? Shi Yi couldn't help but sigh here. According to the original memory, Shi Yi and the child in front of him, Shi Hao, are both descendants of the Shi family. Shi Yi is 5 years old, and Shi Hao is 2 years old. Both of them are children of the head of the Shi family. Shi Yi is the legitimate son, and Shi Hao is an illegitimate child. According to common sense, due to the relationship between the two mothers, their relationship is indeed not very good. But when Shi Hao was born, he had a natural anomaly, with a golden light shining on his chest. Later, after being inspected by the elderly and nobles in his family, it was discovered that there was a natural supreme bone on Shi Yi's body. Later on, fearing that the news would leak out, there was no further publicity. However, a peaceful life did not last long, and I was still exposed to the ancient secretary, Tianyan, whom Shi Yi had learned. From then on, his heart began to covet the supreme bone. It was also from that time that Shi Yi began to slowly approach Shi Hao, and until now, their relationship is inseparable from each other. 2 years later today, Shi Yi used the excuse of taking his younger brother out for a leisurely trip and brought him to the mortal world. Prepared to take advantage of this moment and dig out Shi Hao's supreme bone for personal use. But in the end, it did not go as Shi Yi had hoped. Although the world is long, the sudden passage of morning light has led to the occurrence of this scene now. Brother, did Little Stone do something wrong? Why aren't you talking? Little Stone was wrong. Don't be angry, okay? Shi Hao saw that Shi Yi was not speaking, so he spoke in a milky voice. The sound made Shi Yi feel very uncomfortable in his heart, as if there was a needle pricking pain in his heart. When did you start digging for the supreme bone? I really can't do it. Looking at the prepared array and tools, Shi Yi gently touched Shi Hao's small head with his hand, in a gesture full of love for him. If we were to dig up the supreme bone, it would be difficult for the 3 good youth to take action. If we don't dig up the supreme bone, the original owner's obsession is also a troublesome matter. After all, this is a very powerful existence. With it, it is basically equivalent to a powerful spiritual support. As for whether you feel comfortable in your heart, you can put it aside for now. The demon in the future is not easy to deal with. If one is careless, it will be irreparable. At this moment, a crisp voice came. Ding, congratulations on the successful traversal of the host. The strongest selection system has been activated, and the current situation of the host has been detected. Therefore, the following choices are given. Then a transparent blue screen appeared before his eyes. Option 1. Agree to excavate Shi Hao's supreme bone, break with the Shi family, and obtain the innate Dao body. Option 2. Refuse to excavate the supreme bone of Shi Hao, reconcile with him as before, and obtain the ancient holy body. Seeing these two options, Shi Yi's heart lit up and he instantly began to become happy. That's really great. Even without Shi Hao's supreme bone, with this system, I can still dominate the world with the help of the ancient holy body. Yes, Shi Yi himself has a strong physique because he wants to challenge the cave realm, so he wants to take away Shi Hao's supreme bone. The thoughts in his heart had just sprouted, and the original owner's obsession disappeared with it. Shi Yi felt very light and agile in his body. The gaze towards Shi Hao also showed a hint of tenderness and softness, but a hint of shrewdness and calculation. Brother, it's okay, well behaved. You go play first, Shi Yi said obediently to Shi Hao. Seeing that his brother was no longer as conflicted as before, Shi Hao's furrowed brow also instantly unfolded. Ping jumped happily and ran back and forth, and a suspended heart instantly fell to the ground. After all, children are still children, said Shi Yi with a smile in his heart. After finishing speaking, he looked at the screen system in front of him and said, System, I choose option 2. Ding, successful selection. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the ancient Holy Communion. May I ask if it will merge? Fusion. As soon as Shi Yi finished speaking, he felt as if his body was filled with energy by something, constantly blending and lingering with his current body. Boom. After a long time, with a loud bang, a peaceful aura appeared in the world, and the spiritual energy around the entire ancient country began to surge. At the upper end of the sky, a golden dragon emerged, circling incessantly above Shi Yi's head, emitting dragon chants that echoed through the heavens and earth. Roar! 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 Accompanied by the roar of the golden dragon, the spiritual energy of the entire ancient country began to become restless and restless. It feels like the end of the world is coming. Some people in the mortal world are practicing because their level is relatively low. They absorb this violent energy and their bodies instantly turn into powder. Countless cultivators saw this vision and rushed towards Shi Yi in an instant. These people are all strong cultivators in this world, each one of whom is a leader in their mystical world and is hailed as the most talented cultivator. They stared intently at the golden dragon above Shi Yi's head, their eyes filled with shock, surprise, envy, and admiration. What kind of demon is this? With such a powerful cultivation, is it a fairy from the divine realm? A few days ago, I looked down on him. I didn't expect him to have such great power now. Looking back at that time, I was really foolish. I was just a firefly, and Shi Yi was the sun. Shi Yi is not very old, yet he has such a strong talent. My daughter is about the same age as him, and I don't know if it's possible to arrange a child marriage. Shi Yi's strength is really too strong. If there is a chance, I will definitely treat him to a meal and ask him for his cultivation experience. If we could give him a saddle in front of him, it would be fine. With his protection, he would definitely walk horizontally like a crab in the future. At this moment, countless cultivators, capable individuals, and hermits from both ancient and foreign countries were also looking towards this place. A hostile force within the ancient territory, outside the immortal palace and within the primitive imperial city. A young man with flowing red hair instantly opened his eyes, speak loudly and say, someone. What happened in the ancient country, check it out for me. If there are any demons, they will be killed to death. The founder of the Daoxian secret realm, Daoxian Immortal, is in a secluded thatched cottage. A frail old man sitting cross-legged, with a lingering candle, is clearly visible. As if the wind blows and collapses, when you open your eyes again, the muscles of your body quickly expand and fill up in an instant. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. Zhantian Dao. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Looking at the scene of the ancient country in front of me, the greedy expression in my eyes was very sharp. After waiting for so long, I finally have to wait for this excellent opportunity to change my body. In ancient China, dozens of dormant ancestors were also awakened by the sight before them. Who on earth has such great abilities? We are not mortal beings. Is it a certain God from heaven who is present on earth? After speaking, these people woke up one after another and rushed towards the bamboo forest in front of them. This person is definitely not from our holy land, he must be a god from heaven, said another old Taoist with certainty. We need to leave quickly. The people from the upper realm haven't come for a long time. This time, it's definitely not by chance. We must take good care of them and don't lose etiquette. Standing on the side, Shi Hao looked quietly at his brother Shi Yi, with a hint of envy in his eyes. Brother, you're really handsome now, he said in a milky voice. At this moment, Shi Yi, the golden dragon above his head, was even more powerful. Subsequently, countless runes appeared hovering overhead, spinning non-stop around the golden dragon. The golden light emanating from the surroundings was even more dazzling, and as Shi Yi exhaled and exhaled, an infinite charm appeared. Unconsciously, it has led to frequent anomalies between the heavenly Tao. The sound of the great road is also echoing non-stop. A dragon howls in the blue sky, mountains, rivers, and streams are all accepted. Heroes in the world are all amazed to hear, a true dragon appears from thousands of miles of wind and clouds. Near Shi Yi, nearly 100 miles of bamboo forest has now become his personal cultivation sanctuary. Subsequently, countless disciples, as if hearing a call, sat cross-legged one after another. I hope to realize my own Tao heart through the vision in front of me. And in front of Shi Yi, his eyes were slightly closed, and the golden real dragon was also hovering around him non-stop. He quietly felt the infinite opportunities brought to him by the ancient communion. I am also laying the foundation for my own Tao heart and hoping to break through the cave realm as soon as possible. Yes, there are different levels of cultivators in the entire cultivation world. Divide them one by one based on each person's cultivation talent. Lower realm. Blood movement, cave heaven, spirit transformation, inscription, marquee, formation, king, respected, emperor, upper realm. Divine fire, holy or false, true one, true God. Holy sacred 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 immortals. True immortal, 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 immortal king, burial king, quasi-immortal emperor, immortal emperor, immortal emperor, burial emperor. Dao Xin is the supreme mind technique that stabilizes every level of realm. Only by walking out of one's own path can one go further on the path of cultivation. On the contrary, if cultivators cannot walk out of their own path, even with the help of the most powerful gods, it is useless. From ancient times to the present day, it is unknown how many people, because they cannot stabilize their Tao mind, can only remain stagnant in the middle level of practice. Finally, with a hint of regret, I left this world. In ancient times, those abandoned graves and withered graves were the best examples. Every 10,000 years or so, there will be a group of experienced cultivators who, due to their unstable Tao mind, have lost all their previous achievements. Finally, it comes at the cost of one's own longevity. So, even the Shi family within the ancient country cannot fully unite the Dao heart. There are only a few people who can truly break through the realm of true immortality. Every person who reaches the realm of true immortality has experienced countless old demons with longevity. Now that I have traveled through time, I cannot waste this body in such a good opportunity. Since I used to be mediocre, I will definitely live a new self in the future. I, Shi Yi, must become a brilliant new star on this path of cultivation. Since I'm here, let me first stabilize my Dao heart and then slowly step into this world. Shi Yi kept saying motivating words in his heart. Consolidate the Dao heart, refine the holy body, the way is merciless, and look up to heaven and earth. Shi Yi let out a loud shout, and the just calmed vitality of heaven and earth began to become violent again. Subsequently, the golden dragon slowly began to form a phantom of a person, which made it look very dazzling with golden light. Subsequently, void shadow slowly began to merge with Shi Yi. For a moment, all the spiritual energy kept surging towards Shi Yi's direction. In an instant, Shi Yi's entire body was enveloped by a rich spiritual energy. Subsequently, all the spiritual energy transformed into auspicious energy, shining everywhere for hundreds of miles. Even the strongest spiritual energy in the upper realm is starting to become insignificant at this moment. Bang! With a loud bang, the cave realm instantly opened. 6 caves appeared in an instant. The young man jumped up and then opened 2 more caves. The old demons who just came over felt like they were looking at demons again. Oh my goodness, a 5-year-old child has 8 caves. Ha ha ha. I have finally arrived at the ancient sacred body, and I can finally attain eternal life. The old man who coveted the ancient sacred body began to greedily smile. They looked at the spreading scene before them and heard the words of the older generation before them. Every century, there will be a group of young people with outstanding talents, and at that time, everyone is a true dragon, and those who ascend to immortality will produce many talented people. There are several old monsters in the Shi family who have lived for centuries. As the strongest kings of the ancient country, they also have a renowned reputation in the lower realm. Apart from Shi Yi, there is no one stronger than them. But before all the variables, these seem somewhat insignificant. Even though the constraints of laws are no longer significant, there are countless people who can become true immortals. With the opening of the rules, these old demons who have lived for a long time will also receive a wave of dividends to become true immortals. So these old demons are so excited. Because they saw the hope of achieving immortality, becoming stronger again than before. Boom boom. Boom boom. Boom boom. Boom boom. Shi Yi's Dao heart began to constantly gather together, transforming from the initial illusion to something tangible. Subsequently, the entire sky also darkened, and wind and clouds began to rise, with thunderous waves. It's as if the whole world needs to be buried together. And these people who were watching from the side said, "No, this is heavenly wrath, I want to strangle his Dao heart. I don't know if this child can make it through." Everyone began to become worried. Then they looked at the sky together. If he can survive this calamity, then his future destiny will definitely be above the immortal king. These old demons looked at Shi Yi in front of them, with an envious expression in their eyes that they couldn't hide. The heavenly way will not allow such a thing to happen. It is not allowed for a 5-year-old child to forcibly open the golden rule of the heavenly way. Not everyone is allowed to become immortal or holy. He will not be allowed to unite his Dao heart to change the heavenly way. Surprisingly, Shi Yi did not face the pressure of the heavenly way. He didn't know whether to live or die, and dared to challenge the pressure of the heavenly way with his own strength. If we can't suppress the 5-year-old doll in front of us, then the way of heaven in the future will not be the place where everyone wants to challenge us. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. The Prestige of the Heavenly Way. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Although the heavenly way of the lower realm cannot be compared to the heavenly way of the upper realm, the majesty of the heavenly way does not allow others to provoke. If there were no heavenly Dao managers to suppress Shi Yi's Dao heart, then the people under the heavenly Dao would. It should also be doubted whether the oppression of the heavenly way can be easily challenged by any cat or dog. If everyone dares to act against the heavens, how should the heavenly way deal with itself? Although cultivation can go against the sky, only a small number of people can achieve it, while the majority of people still need to behave obediently according to the rules of the heavenly way. Shi Yi can be considered one, and so can those old demons from ancient countries. Other old guys who can unite their own inner thoughts are also possible. Other people can only walk obediently according to the rules of the heavenly way. The heavenly way is not benevolent and treats all things as mere dogs. Saints are not benevolent and treat the people as mere dogs. The Dao heart cannot unite, even if you have great talent. It is not worth mentioning. As Shi Yi's Dao heart coalesced stronger and stronger, the phantom also began to become more and more solid. At this moment, the thunder and lightning in the sky were becoming increasingly shocking and massive. All the living beings in the circle were startled by the scene before them. The heavenly way is angry, it's really angry. It's like the end of the world is coming. At this moment, Shi Yi's brain began to sound systematic prompts again. Ding, detected the system's analysis of the host's current predicament, now giving the host 3 choices. Then a blue screen appeared in front of Shi Yi. Option 1. Strive to the death with the heavenly way, forcibly gather the Dao heart, and obtain the treasure technique. Devour all treasure techniques. Option 2. Compromise with the heavenly way, let the heavenly way spare your life, and obtain the great Dao treasure technique. Pray for blessings. Option 3. Give up condensing the Dao heart, escape back to the ancient country, and obtain the treasure technique. Dungeon invisibility technique. Shi Yi glanced at the blue template and made a choice without hesitation. System, choose one. Even if you enter the game alone, what are you afraid of? After speaking, Shi Yi looked firmly at the rolling thunder ahead. I'm afraid of some kind of heavenly cycle, some kind of scattered spirit that can fly. Today, I will fight to the death with you. With your current situation, you can't do anything to me, When I become stronger in the future, all the nonsense will be under my feet. Shi Yi burst out laughing, his pride couldn't be suppressed. All the old demons in front of me were shocked and their chins dropped. What? How dare you defy the heavenly way at such a young age? How crazy are you now? I've lived such a long life, and it's the first time I've seen such a crazy person. It's actually a 5-year-old baby. Ding, successful selection. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the treasure spell and devouring all treasures. As soon as Shi Yi finished speaking, the system's prompt sound came to mind again, and a powerful devouring technique began to spread and breed within his body. This treasure technique is a devouring all treasures formed by tens of thousands of supreme treasures. As long as it is everything the owner wants to devour, it can let it devour it completely. Even heaven and earth cannot be ignored. Boom boom. Boom boom. Boom boom. Boom boom. This world is filled with supreme pressure, and the merciless heavenly way seems to feel the provocation of Shi Yi. The entire lightning once again rose one level, with its power tens of thousands of times greater than before. This is to put this sun to death. This kind of oppression, how long have I lived? It's the first time I've seen it. It seems that this sun is unlikely to escape this calamity. Unfortunately, the young hero is going to fall here today. What a pity. In the bamboo forest, whether it is an old demon who has reached the peak of cultivation, a newcomer who has just entered the cultivation world, or a practitioner who has already reached a certain level of cultivation. Under the pressure of the heavenly way in front of me, I couldn't help but feel fear and sighs. That is an instinct to fear the heavens, and it is also a manifestation of the weak seeing the strong. But in front of Shi Yi, there was indeed a different scene. At this moment, Shi Yi was not afraid of any so-called heavenly way. On the contrary, Yu Chang, the heavenly Dao, the braver he becomes. Since you're here, don't just scratch. Boom boom. Boom boom. Boom boom. As he spoke, countless thunderbolts rushed towards him and quickly struck towards Shi Yi's heart. Continuous wind and rain, swarming in for a moment. Cover this bamboo forest completely. Bang. With a loud bang, the entire bamboo forest instantly turned into a wasteland, surrounded by countless bamboo trees that flew into ashes. If it weren't for the fact that the heavenly way was just about splitting the stone, I'm afraid it wouldn't be just bamboo dying now. Everyone present couldn't have avoided it. Humph, it's a small trick to carve insects. Let's see how I deal with it. Although he used to be a bit scared, now with the support of magic, what else can stop me? With the treasure technique that can devour heaven and earth, he can walk horizontally in front of the heavenly Tao. Shi Yi firmly believes that after this time, his cultivation gain will definitely reach a higher level. Shi Yi thought to himself and then began to operate the devouring all treasures technique. Swallow all the treasures and devour this merciless heavenly way for me. As soon as the words fell, the entire world began to darken in an instant. It seems like a huge mouth, ready to bite at this heavenly path. Boom boom. Boom boom. Boom boom. Boom boom. The seemingly terrifying thunderous force began to dissipate before it could even strike. Subsequently, the aura on Shi Yi's body also began to become subtle. Jidongshan, 10 holes in the sky, open. I succeeded, I opened 10 holes in the sky. Realm, breakthrough. Then a golden light appeared, directly breaking through the realm of spiritual transformation. Then Shi Yi slowly stood up, recalling the pressure of the heavenly way just now, and couldn't help but feel some fear in his heart. It seems that we need to be more cautious in the future. If we continue to be so crazy, it may be detrimental to our future. But not everyone can provoke me now. Fortunately, this time it's the little heavenly way of the lower realm. If it's the great heavenly way of the upper realm, I'm afraid I've already vanished into thin air. Shi Yi knew clearly in his heart that he still needed to become stronger in the future. In the face of absolute strength, I can indeed do whatever I want, Shi Yi thought to himself. Thank you, the original owner in the film and television, I won't waste this brand new life. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. Enemy Attack. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. After a duel just now, the weather has also become clearer. For a moment, the clouds and mist faded away, and a rainbow hung proudly in the sky. It seems to be telling the joy of victory. Under the brilliant sunshine, everyone looked at Shi Yi in front of them. Zhantian Dao, are you just so capable? Not enough to tickle me. If you have the ability, come again. Do you agree now? Zhantian Dao said, you're so good at eating, I won't fight you anymore. Zhantian Dao knows in his heart that this guy is really delicious. If he continues to fight, he may eat up everything. Poor heavenly way. Everyone looked at the scene in front of them, feeling extremely shocked. After a while, everyone regained their composure and looked at Shi Yi, shouting loudly, congratulations to the god for breaking through the realm of spiritual transformation. Take our strength to the next level. The voices of everyone were loud, echoing through the heavens and earth, as if they were even louder than the dragon roar just now. Don't be polite, everyone, get up. Looking at the scene just now, Shi Hao's eyes blinked exceptionally naively. Quickly ran to Shi Yi's eyes and said, brother, are you okay? You really scared me just now. Brother, it's okay, Shi Hao, don't worry. Shi Yi comforted Shi Hao and said. Brother, I was really amazing just now. When I grow up, I want to become someone like my brother, said Shi Hao, blinking his watery big eyes. Everyone didn't expect that the thunder just now not only didn't repel Shi Yi, but also took his cultivation to a higher level. It's simply a leap from quantification to qualitative change. Shi Hao. Brother, how did you defeat that thunderous threat just now? Shi Yi said, my brother has a high cultivation level. As long as Hao practices well in the future, he will definitely surpass my brother. Looking at Shi Hao's hazy appearance, Shi Yi thought to himself, if it weren't for this sudden crossing, your supreme bone would have been dug up. At a young age, one must endure the pain of digging bones. Is this the fate of the protagonist? The protagonist. Shi Yi's gaze changed as he thought of this and looked at Shi Hao. Brother, why are you looking at me like that? Is there something dirty on my face? Shi Hao asked with a milky voice. It's okay, I just want to play with Xiao Hao. Shi Yi said to Shi Hao. Subsequently, Shi Yi infused his true qi into Shi Hao's body. Unexpectedly, it was discovered that there was a naturally formed strong spiritual power in Shi Hao's body, and it was also a rare golden seawater. Especially the Qihai Snow Mountain, it is countless times higher than the average person. Undoubtedly the protagonist, it seems that I will be following my younger brother in the future. Shi Yi thought to himself. Of course, Shi Yi knew in his heart that since Shi Hao was the protagonist, good things would naturally be indispensable in the future. As long as you follow Shi Hao, your future prospects will be absolutely open. Shi Yi's gaze at Shi Hao became even more determined. Shi Hao looked at his brother still looking at him, so he tugged at his brother's clothes. Shi Yi regained his composure and led Shi Hao by his side. Although Shi Hao didn't know what Shi Yi was thinking in his heart, he knew in his heart that his brother loved him. Brother won't harm himself. I can follow my brother with peace of mind. The two were still talking to each other, but they didn't expect to be outside the immortal palace, inside the primitive imperial city. The red-haired ghost king has slowly opened his eyes. The voice was very deep, but it kept recalling within the primitive imperial city. Interesting, interesting. The supreme reincarnation, surprisingly, became brothers with the founder of the prosperous era. This prosperous era is really becoming more and more interesting. I have been sleeping for a long time, little ones. Wake up now when I call you. Then all the little people in the entire primitive imperial city woke up. Our ghost king has awakened, and we should also wake up. As long as we can grasp this opportunity and obtain the ancient Holy Communion, then our ghost king will inevitably lead us towards glory and occupy the upper realm. You're right, as long as I occupy this ancient holy body, I can definitely kill back to the upper realm. Any holy emperor is under my feet. Ha 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 ha. Old folks from the upper realm, just wait. Ha 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 ha. Subsequently, in the wilderness, a skinny old man looked at Shi Yi in front of him and was faintly smiling. This person is the old man inside the thatched cottage. Come out. I know you're here, hiding and hiding is not something that big men do. Feeling the strong aura, Shi Yi said to the person who came. This old man's cultivation is much stronger than he doesn't know, and he also has some fear in his heart. This person is not easy to deal with. Shi Yi muttered to himself in his heart. This person does not come from the lower world, and the aura on his body does not seem to be that of a person from the lower world, but why is he still in the lower world? Shi Yi looked at the old man in front of him with great solemnity in his heart. Is it true that the old man, like himself, also broke free from the constraints of the heavenly way, which is why he has lived to this day? Such a strong person is not commonly seen in the world. Do you have a good perception ability? You actually noticed my presence. Then he began to look up and down at Shi Yi's ancient holy body. Not bad, how are you using this ancient holy body? Shi Yi knew that this person was not a good person. At this moment, the expression on his face became even more solemn. Then an old man slowly walked out. The ancestor of the Daoxian's secret realm, Daoxianjinren, are you still alive? The old man slowly walked out, and the white-bearded old man beside him said in surprise. Looking at the skinny old man in front of him with an incredulous expression on his face. Shi Yi was also very surprised as he looked at the wind-candle old man in front of him. Shi Yi, this person is the founder of the strongest force in the wasteland. Thousands of years ago, I had met him a few times. Although the power he created was in the wilderness, he is not a person from the wilderness, said an old gentleman in the wilderness. Since they are not from here, are they from the upper realm? Shi Yi asked in confusion. Yes, but I don't know exactly which realm he belongs to, the old man said with a smile. So that's the case, I'll just say, if it's a person from the lower world, how could there be such pressure? If this person comes from the upper realm, that's right, everything makes sense. After listening to the old man's words, Shi Yi instantly relaxed a lot and his gaze softened a lot. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. It's okay, why are you running? You are listening at novel full.audio. Although this person is quite powerful, he did not log in from the upper realm, but only ascended from the lower realm, which is not worth mentioning in the face of absolute realms. Because it is a state of letting nature take its course, if it is going against the sky, Shi Yi still has some fear. Although the opponent's realm is in the true immortal realm, while Shi Yi's realm is only in the lower realm, there is nothing to fear. Because Shi Yi's talent is not particularly high, even killing people who are several levels higher than himself is possible. Perhaps it will still be helpful for one's own cultivation. However, if the opponent's realm has already exceeded the 3 realms and is not within the 5 elements, then it is still somewhat frightening. If it's a super realm, then the current Shi Yi is definitely not his opponent. Judging from Dao Yu's appearance, I don't consider old decay in my eyes anymore. Why are young people so arrogant now, said Dao Xian, looking at Shi Yi with a disdainful expression on his face. Emperor Dao Xian naturally knew that Shi Yi's talent was incomparable to ordinary people. But he is not a vegetarian either. If he really started fighting, he wouldn't believe he would be defeated by a yellow-haired boy. If he didn't have this confidence, he wouldn't dare to covet Shi Yi's ancient holy body. Although Shi Yi comes from the upper realm, he himself is not from the upper realm. Of course, he also knew that it was impossible for Shi Yi to be alone with him. But he also has absolute strength around him. The practitioners in the primitive imperial city were not vegetarians. And as long as he succeeds in seizing and giving up, he can cultivate in his primitive imperial city and rely on the ancient holy body, which is not impossible for him. Moreover, there is absolute strength behind him. I have reached a great level higher than Shi Yi. He is at least the founder of the sect, relying on himself, so even in the face of absolute strength, he is fearless. And my realm level is not low. Looking at Shi Yi's disdainful gaze, there was a sense of unease in his heart. It's just a small force, how could I not be a match for this yellow-haired boy, he thought to himself. Unfortunately, Dao Xian did not know that Shi Yi was from the Shi family in the upper realm, which is a well-known aristocratic family. The numerous cultivators and disciples under his sect, and the guards around him often remain steadfast. And even the guards are at the level of immortal emperor. Any one they pull out is enough for this ancestor to eat a pot. If it weren't for preparing to dig bones this time, how could Shi Yi have run to the lower world on his own? Shi Yi's physique has been higher than that of ordinary people since childhood. Not to mention that he has now awakened his Dao heart and reached the realm of spiritual transformation. Even without awakening the Dao heart and the protection of the ancient holy body, it is still possible to deal with a fairy king in the lower world. Shi Yi's talent is already several times higher than that of his peers, and coupled with his current system of protection, it is understandable not to take Dao Xian to heart. Now my own strength is not in the past, even the heavenly Dao dares to compete with it. It's not worth mentioning that I am just a mysterious figure in the lower realm. Senior, you're really good at joking. My realm is definitely not a match for Senior. I'm just a little kid, why did Senior say such a thing? Shi Yi looked at Dao Xian and said. You're a smart kid with some self-awareness. You can donate the ancient holy body yourself. This way, I won't have to take action, said Dao Xian proudly. Upon hearing Shi Yi's compliments, Dao Xian was also very happy in his heart. He burst out laughing at Shi Yi. Dao Xian was still very proud of his words of praise. After all, this is his human weakness. Since he is hiding in the lower realm, it means that he can control everything in the lower realm. Otherwise, he would have gone to the upper realm to show off his power long ago. Dao Xian's words have just finished. A system prompt sound appeared in Shi Yi's mind, and the blue screen reappeared in front of him. Ding, detected the enemy in dilemma the host is currently facing, give the host 2 choices first. Choose 1, voluntarily donate your ancient holy body and let your soul disappear from the world. Option 2. Refuse to donate your ancient holy body, engage in a decisive battle with Dao Xian, obtain the treasure technique, and use the heaven destruction and earth destruction palm. It's him who should disappear, option 2, Shi Yi said to the system. This system, how can I be serious with just a hammer? How could my personality admit defeat? You underestimate me too much, Shi Yi thought to himself. Ding, successful selection, destructive palm selection successful, congratulations to the host. Then a golden aura slowly entered his body, and for a moment, Shi Yi felt that his body was very light and full of strength. The endless palm power kept pounding at his sea of qi and snowy mountains. The power of destroying heaven and earth was transmitted from his hands. Then I saw that force with a majestic momentum, as if carrying an endless destructive force. Then Shi Yi shouted, destroying heaven and earth palm, and went to pat him to death for me. Humph, bold man, I flatter you, I really treat myself like a fart. Since that's the case, today I'll teach you what it means to be a person with a tail between your legs. As soon as the palm technique was used, a gust of wind surged, and a golden palm print carried endless damage, heading straight towards the mysterious path. Subsequently, wherever the palm technique passed, all things dried up and then turned into powder and disappeared between heaven and earth. A dead silence followed. Kid, why haven't you cut yourself yet? Do you really want me to do it myself? He looked at Shi Yi in front of him without any movement, and then spoke wildly. Subsequently, a destructive force spread from Shi Yi's hands. The strong smell of death made him look at Shi Yi in front of him, and he couldn't help but burst into a cold sweat. How could your martial arts talent be so high? I thought to myself as I looked at Shi Yi Daoxuan's heart. Subsequently, Dao Xian used martial arts blocking techniques to resist. I didn't expect to fall on your little boy's hand today, so I won't fight you anymore. Then, a shield technique flew straight towards his lair. Now you know my strength, do you want to run? It's not that easy, Shi Yi said coldly as he looked at Dao Xian who was running away. I didn't expect this old guy to be so cowardly. I thought it was a bloody battle, but I didn't expect it to be so vulnerable. I'm so weak, I dare to speak out loud, humph. I can't control myself, thought Shi Yi in his heart. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. One palm brings peace to the world. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Shi Yi never expected that this Dao Xian would be a coward. He was very impressive just now, and he didn't expect to admit his cowardice so quickly. This kind of person is only worthy of being a bereaved dog. Even giving you the ancient holy body is a waste of such good resources for such people. No wonder they can only be a seemingly powerful person in the lower world. For people who lack fearlessness, Shi Yi rejects them from the bottom of his heart. For Shi Yi, even if he is lifting shoes for himself, he is not worthy. Surprisingly, it's embarrassing to call oneself a cultivator. It is only a matter of time before such a person dies, and it is impossible for them to achieve great success in the future. Shi Yi's heaven and earth destruction palm was only released, and this person immediately disappeared without a trace. Watching the disappearing figure, Shi Yi prepared to teach this person a lesson and pursue him with victory, which was not impossible. Subsequently, Shi Yi used his heaven-destroying and earth-destroying palm, combined with a few tenths of his power and the dominance of the ancient holy body, to head straight towards the place where Dao Xian had escaped. I saw that Shi Yi's domineering aura suddenly surged, and he also took advantage of the situation and launched an attack. Bang! With a loud bang, the mountain peak that Dao Xian had fled to collapsed instantly under his influence. Subsequently, thick smoke billowed and the entire mountain peak became flat. Dao Xian, you're damn it. A fierce voice came from Shi Yi's throat. Subsequently, several cultivators around him began to admire, and everyone never expected that a 5-year-old doll would have such abilities. How could this be so powerful? Who learned this skill from? With one palm, the entire mountain peak turned into flat ground. This is too scary, isn't it? This place is still human, even if it's a god, it's just that. Even if all of us join hands now, we can't stop this destructive palm. If I could give Shi Yi a horse ride, it would be a lifelong honor. I truly deserve to be a descendant of a noble family, and when I made a move, it was so extraordinary. In my opinion, this person will have countless children in the future. In the future, the entire upper realm may have to make way for him. After a moment of discussion, everyone looked at Shi Yi with envy in front of them. Envy, admiration, and admiration gazes all turned towards Shi Yi at this moment. Later, an old man with gray hair was seen in the crowd, looking at Shi Yi in front of him with fear in his eyes. His expression was also approaching in an instant, and he trembled and said, "Young Master Shi Yi has come to the lower world today. As the guardians of the lower world, we have not been able to accompany him. When the young master is in danger, we hope he can forgive us." This person is one of the top 10 guardians of the lower world, a Taoist named Imei. This person has a high level of cultivation and few opponents in the lower realm. If there were no limitations of the laws of heaven and earth, it would be within reach for this person to reach the upper realm through cultivation in the future. Although this person has talent and strength that is comparable to the previous Taoist, he is only in the lower realm, which is not worth mentioning for people in the upper realm. After a brief moment of tranquility, Imei Doran's words had just finished, and the people around him began to discuss again. The meaning of these words seems to have a strong connection between the top 10 guardians of the lower realm and the Shi family of the upper realm. I haven't heard of it. Did this old man intentionally get involved with the Shi family? If that's the case, shouldn't we have a connection with the Shi family in the upper realm? That's our honor. Yeah, if that's really the case, it's definitely a good thing for us. Subsequently, everyone's gaze once again focused on Shi Yi. Taoist, I am too humble. This matter is for me to travel to the lower world and encounter such an unlucky thing. How can I blame you at this moment? You are also unaware. Shi Yi's face was indifferent to what Taoist Imei had just said. Young master, you have the grace to tolerate others. I would like to thank you here for your understanding. The Taoist Imei saw that Shi Yi had no intention of blaming him, so the worried expression between his eyebrows disappeared. At first, he thought that Shi Yi was the kind of playboy who bullied others, but he didn't expect that he would be so humble and polite, with a general understanding. The Taoist Imei looked at this 5-year-old child from the bottom of his heart and couldn't help but show a little more respect. The crowd was still bustling and talking. But in the big mountain that was just flattened by Shi Yi's palm, a pair of eyes were looking towards the body of Dao Xian ancestor. Then his gaze faded and he transformed into a sword flying towards a certain direction on Mount Ame. Zhou Zhiruo had an extra heaven-reliant sword in his hand. Hand over your sword, I can spare you from dying. Yeah, fellow disciples are starting to compete for this sword. On the other side, a Taoist named Ime vigorously invited the two brothers Shi Yi to live in the blessed land of Dongtian in the lower realm. In the blessed land, Shi Yi is meditating and practicing, while Shi Hao is playing on the side. Looking at the blue screen in front of me, I couldn't help but furrow my brows. Host. Shi Yi. Cultivation. Transforming the spirit realm. Constitution. Those who have successfully condensed their Tao heart, possess the ancient holy body, and have a natural talent for learning treasures. Identity. The legitimate son of the upper realm Shi family, born from a famous family, and the core disciple of the Shi family. Tao method. Destroying heaven and earth palm, devouring heaven and earth technique, heavenly eye divine technique, Shi family heart classic, clear heart sound. Although I have achieved some success in my current strength, I still feel a bit inadequate in the face of absolute realm. Shi Yi muttered to himself. He said this not because of humility, but because he himself is like this. As the legitimate son of one of the aristocratic families in the Shi family, what he needs to bear is already many times higher than others do not know. Despite his current strength, he is one of the best among his peers. But this cultivation may not be anything in front of the absolute proud Son of Heaven. The so-called proud Son of Heaven refers to the sleeping proud Son of Heaven in ancient times. Due to legal limitations, one cannot become a powerhouse in the peak realm. This type of person can change their destiny through their own destiny, but unfortunately, the heavenly way is ruthless, so they can only be forcibly suppressed. These types of people, as long as they are born, carry their own spiritual aura. They either have a rebellious understanding or an unparalleled physique, and are definitely not ordinary people. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. Map of Ancient Tombs. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Shi Yi has also heard from his elders that there are currently 3 such proud sons of heaven. They are all disciples from ancient times, now sleeping in the ancient tomb of the Shi family. Shi Yi's father once said that any one of these 3 would reach the pinnacle of the immortal emperor's realm. It can be reborn with severed limbs, and a drop of blood can knock over a mountain. Absolutely the existence of demons. The strength of these 3 proud sons of heaven is absolutely invincible, and for the world, they are also absolutely terrifying. This is just 3 members of the Lin family, and other aristocratic families naturally have the existence of such demons. Altogether, there are over a dozen such terrifying people present. They are all the proud sons of heaven, and Shi Yi knows in his heart that these people will definitely be his opponents in the future. Compared to these people, I am still far behind, Shi Yi sighed to himself. Brother, how is your cultivation? As soon as Shi Yi opened his eyes, Shi Hao ran up to him and said in a milky voice. Shi Yi spends time with Shi Hao day and night, and has long been accustomed to what his younger brother wants to do now. So as long as Shi Hao uses his spare light to sweep, Shi Yi knows what Shi Hao wants to do. Brother, I want to practice with you, Shi Hao said, blinking his watery eyes. Why? Shi Yi looked at Shi Hao and asked. Shi Hao said, I want to become a practitioner like my brother. Then Shi Hao grabbed Shi Yi's sleeve and said, I remember my father said, my talent is very good, but why didn't he let me practice? Brother, if my father doesn't teach me, can you teach me? Looking at Shi Hao's pitiful big eyes, Shi Yi became embarrassed for a moment. According to the rules of the cultivation world, one cannot enter the cultivation world before the age of 3, and Shi Hao is only 2.5 years old this year. Because the foundation is unstable, if one forcibly cultivates, it will not benefit oneself in any way. It is not an exaggeration to say that one's future is ruined. If one is careless, even the best talent can be destroyed in an instant. So despite the aristocratic family of the Shi family, they dare not easily force a child under the age of 3 to practice. If one is careless, they may never be able to step into the realm of cultivation again. For someone who cannot practice, it is like a devastating blow. Shi Yi was thinking of refusing, and as soon as his words reached his mouth, the system's prompt sound rang again. Then a blue screen appeared before my eyes. Ding, we have detected the difficulties the host is currently facing, so let's give the host 3 choices first. Option 1. Agree to Shi Hao's cultivation request, let his future self-destruct, and return to the upper realm to be confined. Option 2. Refuse Shi Hao's cultivation request and let him practice after 3 weeks to obtain the ancient artifact, the heavenly axe. Option 3. Agree to Shi Hao's cultivation request, teach him the foundation building mnemonic, lay a foundation for future cultivation, and obtain a random ancient tomb map. Can the foundation building mnemonic help Shi Hao lay a foundation in the future? I haven't heard of it before, Shi Yi said in confusion. Speaking of which, Shi Yi didn't care too much and said to Shi Hao, brother, I can help you cultivate, but you have to listen to me. Whatever cultivation I ask you to cultivate, you can cultivate it. Shi Yi said with a serious expression. Watching my brother so serious is completely different from his previous loving expression towards me. Shi Hao naturally knew that this was definitely not a joke. Shi Yi also knew in his heart that if this matter could not be deeply resolved, his younger brother might never be able to practice again in the future. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. Golden Account Court. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Great. Brother is going to teach me how to practice. Shi Hao was jumping and jumping happily. Brother, you won't lie to me, will you? Shi Hao suddenly looked at Shi Yi with some suspicion. Brother won't joke with Shi Hao. When did brother deceive you? Shi Yi touched Shi Hao's little head and said. For Shi Hao, there is nothing more joyful than being able to cultivate, to the extent that he can only remember the first half of what Shi Yi said, and as for the second half, that's what happened to him. Shi Yi then took out a book about building foundations from the Sea of Qi and Snow, and handed it to Shi Hao. This book is a must-read for every novice practitioner. If it weren't for the system's prompt, Shi Yi wouldn't have known that such an entry-level book could still have such an effect. Xiao Hao Hao, remember. You can only practice this book, and you can't practice any other martial arts techniques. Remember. Shi Yi said with concern. Shi Yi's words are also selfish. He is afraid that Shi Hao is practicing other martial arts. Brother, don't worry. I'll listen to you, Shi Hao said as he looked at Shi Yi. Then Shi Hao found a quiet place, sat down quietly, and focused on practicing the foundation building technique. Ding, successful selection. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a map of the great sage and strong warrior defeating the Buddha tomb. The prompt sound in my mind once again shattered the current calm. Then a parchment-like map appeared in Shi Yi's hand. Shi Yi turned his head and glanced at Shi Hao. After confirming that Shi Hao was safe, I found a place and quietly studied this map. Just as he opened the map, Shi Yi was surprised to find that the ancient tomb of Do defeat Buddha was not far from here. So close to me, why didn't you notice it before? It's not easy to find out that it's so hidden. It seems like it's not that simple here, Shi Yi muttered softly. In the wilderness, by the West City, within the territory of the Golden Tent King's court, they defeated Foshan in battle. Looking at these place names on the map, Shi Yi's brain was also constantly spinning rapidly. Lower bound, I don't come here often. I feel a bit confused looking at these unfamiliar place names. Later, Shi Yi found a Taoist priest and obtained a map of this mountain range, which gave him a rough understanding of what this place was. Overall, this area is divided into 5 major sections, named after gold, wood, water, fire, earth, and their respective orientations. Each sector is governed by a force. They are respectively under the jurisdiction of the Golden Tent King's Court next to the West City, the Wooden Tent King's Court next to the East City, the Fire Tent King's Court next to the South City, the Water Tent King's Court next to the North City, and the Earth Tent King's Court next to the Central City. The 5 major sections are interconnected, appearing harmonious on the surface, but in reality, the undercurrents are surging and each has its own ulterior motives. The ancient tomb of Do Shin Buddha is under the jurisdiction of the Golden Tent Royal Court next to the West City. Now Shi Yi's location happens to be the easternmost, and he needs to pass through Middle Earth to reach it. The journey is also quite distant. For a few-year-old child, there are also some hardships. And these few companies have their own grievances. I'm afraid this trip won't go smoothly. Moreover, Shi Hao is too young to take him with him, so he can only go alone with Shi Yi. The ancient tomb is already very dangerous, and the danger inside is unknown. Shi Hao doesn't know how to practice now, and he can't even protect himself in danger. Despite Shi Hao's good luck, Shi Yi cannot let him face such a big risk. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. The Proud Son of Heaven, Shi Hao. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Even if Shi Yi entered the ancient tomb himself, he had to be extremely cautious. If he couldn't be extremely cautious, he might not be able to retreat completely. I heard that the strong ones in the ancient tomb are as easy as the palm of their hand, and their strength is unmatched. So even if Shi Yi is the proud son of heaven, he cannot casually venture into the ancient tomb. After all, even ordinary strong players cannot easily underestimate their opponents when facing them. After all, the strong ones in such ancient tombs have once argued with heaven, claiming that they still have the ability to create a hole in heaven. Then Shi Yi glanced at Shi Hao and said, "You still need to prepare well. If you risk your life, it won't be worth the loss." At this moment, Shi Hao is focused on practicing and cultivating. The spiritual energy gathered around it, and the power of the stars swirled around it. Up and down, shimmering with a silver-white light. Like a king among the strong, shining brightly. Although there is no cultivation support. But the waves of pressure emanating are no different from the strong ones among the youth. In the eyes of others, it is already a terrifying existence. Undoubtedly, the owner of the supreme bone, the king among the strong, and the protagonist who is lucky enough not to be tired, sighed Shi Yi. No wonder the original owner, even carrying the eternal curse on his back, wanted to dig out his supreme bone. Their ancestral practice of the Shi family is to cultivate with the help of the power of the stars. Of course, if you are the proud son of heaven, you can also rely on the energy of the heavenly way. If the original owner had taken possession of his supreme bone, coupled with his terrifying cultivation, it would have been easy to become a character like the immortal emperor. Outside the Lord of the ancient holy body, with the power of the stars and the blessings of the heavenly way, it is truly invincible in the 3 realms. Unexpectedly, this innate supreme bone is a body that many people envy. Shi Yi looked at Shi Hao with a smile and said. Nowadays, Shi Yi is already a presence among the strong, and with the help of the fortune of the heavenly Dao and his innate talent, he has already condensed his Dao heart. He is simply a demon. Both of them are the chosen sons of the Shi family, and the Shi family has no idea what great fortune they had in their previous life. They were able to produce 2 proud sons of heaven. A typical family can only produce 1, which is already remarkable. However, Shi Yi is ready to protect Shi Hao, because as long as he starts practicing, it means that the supreme bone will be exposed. Those who covet the supreme bone of Shi Hao will definitely exist. Subsequently, Shi Yi took out his formation plate from the Sea of Qi and Snow Mountains. Then he started gesturing towards Shi Hao. Then a formation that gathered the spiritual energy of heaven and earth appeared on Shi Hao. This formation can prevent the leakage of Shi Hao's breath. As long as Shi Hao's breath does not leak, it will not attract others to covet his supreme bone. Shi Yi thought to himself. Then Shi Yi turned around and left this blessed land and cave. You guys, keep an eye on the children inside. If anything goes wrong, I promise you won't leave any chickens or dogs here, Shi Yi said to the nearby guards. Although the strength of these dozen guards is not very high, they are still sufficient to protect the safety of Shi Hao in the next term. After all, these people are carefully selected guards by Imei Taoist. Obedience. A group of guards responded to Shi Yi's words. These dozen or so guards naturally knew how important it was for the safety of Shi Hao's heart, and they dared not slack off. After all, he is a proud son from a noble family. If there is any mistake, it is feared that the next generation will truly follow what Shi Yi said, leaving no room for chickens or dogs. And for the next generation, if we protect the safety of this young master, when the people above are happy, giving them any rewards is also a way for them to turn over in the next term. Everyone glanced at each other and then became energized. After leaving the next year's Fudi Dongtian, Shi Yi arrived at the location on the map. Since the Great Sage Cemetery exists here, the next one won't be as simple as the next one. After all, saints can't come out easily, Shi Yi thought to himself. If the things inside are really treasures, then I wouldn't have come here in vain, Shi Yi thought to himself. The smile on his face also unconsciously revealed. Since there can be an ancient tomb of the great sage of Qi Tian here, then there must be something unknown inside. Perhaps there was some surprise that didn't come in vain. The great sage's ancient tomb. Stay away from idle people. Just as I approached the ancient tomb, a hoarse sound came from inside. Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. Rune Dagger. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Since you're here, come in. Our next holy land has always been a subsidiary of the Shijia faction in the upper realm. Since Master Shi wants to come in and retrieve things, please feel free to do so. Before Shi Yi could speak, the door slowly opened, accompanied by the sound of aging. Shi Yi also did not expect that this person was a Taoist named Imei. As the sound fell, the stone statues that had already opened their eyes slowly closed their eyes, becoming like no one else. He no longer paid attention to Shi Yi in front of him. Shi Gongzi, please come in. A Taoist slowly walked out and arched his hand at Shi Yi, saying. I also have great respect for Shi Yi. Excuse me. Shi Yi said humbly and politely. Then slowly walked into the secret room. There are a total of 7 floors in the secret room, presenting the shape of a pagoda. The first 6 layers are basically not worth mentioning. Adding a piece to these layers of things is just some pills, ordinary weapons, and so on. For Shi Yi, these things are absolutely as much as he wants. So Shi Yi simply scanned with his eyes, and wherever his spiritual consciousness passed, there was nothing that Shi Yi could see. But on the last floor of the secret room, inside the dark grid, Shi Yi vaguely felt that something seemed different from these. And there are very few things in the last layer, but they are all protected by different formations. Depending on the level of the treasure, the level of the formation also varies from low to high. Outside the array, the filled spiritual energy flows slowly, which can protect the array from running for a long time and thus protect treasures. The spiritual energy outside the array floats in the air like golden threads, looking extremely mysterious. Its changes are also very beautiful. Shi Yi didn't even look at these magical tools, and then walked straight to a dark grid outside the wall. In the center of the dark grid is a shape of Tai Chi, with the formation of the Bagua formation next to it. The seemingly naive gossip formation is actually full of hidden waves. The spiritual energy around is also more abundant than that of ordinary treasures. No matter how much Shi Yi spies, he cannot see what the treasure is. It's like something is blocking his line of sight. What kind of treasure is it? It has such great power. Shi Yi was puzzled. Subsequently, Shi Yi infused his spiritual power into the Bagua formation. But even though Shi Yi exerted his strength to suckle, he still couldn't see what was inside. Later, Shi Yi increased his spiritual input again, and something strange happened. The baby inside feels like it's sensing something. The runes on the treasure began to emit a faint golden light. Then he began to become restless. And Shi Yi's spiritual power seemed to be out of his control, starting to automatically enter towards the treasure. What kind of treasure is this? Surprisingly, it has such great spiritual power. It can collect all my spiritual energy and not let go at all. Shi Yi thought to himself. Usually, this type of treasure is made of absolutely unique refining materials. It can be achieved by absorbing energy from the universe. Generally, this type of material can be said to be encountered but not sought after. If it is made into its own treasure, its killing power is self-evident. Moreover, such treasures can absorb all the spiritual energy of others into their own containers, so as to turn them from practitioners into useless people. But no matter what, treasures are ultimately treasures. Although Shi Yi had never seen such a treasure that could absorb the spiritual power of others. But Shi Yi's spiritual cultivation level is absolutely thick enough. Let's see if you're good or if I'm better. Shi Yi looked at the rune dagger in front of him and began to get a little annoyed. Then he used his own spiritual power and poured it towards the rune dagger in front of him. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.